Unlock your dream property with Meeks Realty Group, where Rich the Realtor makes real estate dreams a reality. Whether it's residential or commercial, we've got Charleston to Huntington covered. Your key to exceptional real estate experiences start here. Meeks Realty Group. Contact us at meeks.us.
The views and opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of 580 WCHS, its employees, or WVRC Media. From the studios of WVRC Media, the country, the United States of America, the state, West Virginia, the city, Charleston. This is the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live. And your host.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
He's kind of a big deal.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
Dave Allen.
And a good Thursday morning to you. Welcome to the show. Senior producer Ryan Nicholson in charge of things across the hall this morning. Bigly, Piggly, Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Tony Taylor text 304-935-5008. The Dave Allen Show is brought to you by Thornhill Auto Group. Your next ride and your next service can be found on US 119 from Chapinville to Logan to Belfry, Kentucky. Start your drive online at thornhillautomotive.com. Phone calls to the show, a service of Bigly, Piggly, Wiggly, Spring Street, Charleston. Texting services provided by West Virginia's finest men's store, Tony the Tailor, Virginia Street in Charleston. Visit bestmastertailor.com. And I got to say this about Tony the Tailor. Last night, perusing the socials medias, I got a notification that I had been named as a top fan. I got my badge for Tony the Tailor. So
careful admitting.
I texted him last night. And I said, "Hey, look at this!" And I put another expletive after it because that's what Tony and I do. And I said, "This ought to get me lunch or something." So he claims he's going to buy me lunch for being a top fan of Tony the Tailor. I spent enough money down there. He should. I should say my wife spends enough money down there because I'm in radio. I don't make any money. We got a loaded up show today. Greg Thomas will be with us a little bit later on. Greg, of course, with Citizens Against Lawsuit Abuse and also Republican strategist. He's got some stuff he wants to say about the Democrats, but he also has some things he wants to say about the Republicans, too. I don't want to say controversy, but anytime Greg's here, we light up the text lines and the phone lines too. But he's got some stuff he wants to say about some Republicans too. So I'm going to talk to Greg about that coming up a little bit later on. Also, Justin Williams from the West Virginia Building and Construction Trades Organization will be stopping by. They've got a new economic impact study out with some interesting news from West Virginia. We'll talk to Justin about that. Plus, your calls and texts are always welcome. Bigly, Piggly, Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Tony the Tailor text 304-935-5008. Our good buddy Evan Osborn from Capital Market is here. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Fantastic. Aside from the snow and the weather.
Well, with the winter that we've had, this is not really. I woke up this morning, looked out the window. I had a little bit of snow on the roof of the car, not even any in the grass or anything. But, it's but I'm like you. I'm over it. Next, Brian Hughes tells me like next Wednesday could be near 80 next Wednesday. I'll take it. All right. So speaking of the weather report from Capital Market, so this time of year, spring's not officially here. I guess the meteorological spring is here. We switched the clocks forward this weekend. I think about it there for a moment. Exciting time for Capital Market.
Absolutely, and if you were to consult the Capital Market Farmers Almanac, the unofficial beginning of spring, it kicks off every year with the Green Chili Shootout.
Yeah,
it's coming up March 15th.
And that'll be next weekend, right, prior to St. Patrick's Day. But talk about spring in general, though, at Capital Market. This is, and I know this because a lot of folks every year when spring gets here, they say, "Oh, I'm going to I'm going to work out in the yard. I'm going to do this and that," and the place they go usually is here in the area is Capital Market.
Absolutely, and traditionally we spend the winter months, in preparation for a very busy outdoor market season. We've always sort of kicked that off right around April 1st. Mm-hmm. It is agriculture. It fluctuates usually within, 2 to 3 week window. Number of variables, most importantly being temperature throughout the winter. Depends on when and just how much product we're going to get in starting at the season. Fortunately, most of the spring stuff is all produced in a greenhouse, so we do have a degree of control over it. But officially, we open outside April 1st. Past couple of years, as things have shifted, we may have stuff a week or two ahead of schedule, but you can generally safely assume that come mid-April, we're going to be full with all of your ferns, hanging baskets, flowers.
As we
herbs,
get closer to Easter too, that's always a big thing too. Talking to Evan Osborn again from Capital Market. The Dave Allen Show and 580 Live is brought to you in part by Fresh Air Filters of Tays Valley. Fresh Air, your trusted filter experts for both your home or business. Call 304-440-1104 or visit freshairfilters.us because everyone deserves fresh air. You alluded to it, the green chili cookout. So what do you call it? The green chili? What's the official name? Green chili.
The Capital Market Green Chili Shootout.
I got the shootout. That was the word I was missing there. It's going to be a week from Saturday.
Absolutely, right. And it is. For those that aren't familiar with the event, we'll have more than 40 professional and amateur chili enthusiasts. Mm-hmm. It is an International Chili Society sanctioned event. So the winner in the pro category will go on to the World Championships in October.
And that's really a big deal, and because we have a couple of events like that around here in the area. I mean, we talk all the time about how Charleston is becoming, or the Kanawha Valley region is becoming like a culinary destination. We got at least two that I know of, maybe more, of these events here in the area that are international competitions, and people come here from all over to enter their chilies, and people locally win and they move on to other places.
I know at this point, and obviously we've got a little over a week to go for registration, but we have participants from 6 different states, so it's a big draw in terms of one, these folks take this incredibly seriously.
Oh yeah,
and it is sanctioned by very strict set of rules. And so on the pro side, it is a very regimented and serious process. And then on the flip side, we have the amateur category, which is really, it does not have to be green. It does not have to use traditional ingredients. We award prizes for the best booth. It's just a whole lot of fun. And so we have live music, craft beer, and then starting last year, the addition of Capital Market Mayhem will be returning, and that's part of the Regatta Pro Wrestling Series. And that was really born out of the triumvirate of local wrestling enthusiasts, Matt Sutton, Tim Brady, and Mr. Adam Harris. And it's been exciting to, one, launch that event, really not shock per se, but bring something wildly different to the outdoor market, and so we're excited to bring that back this year.
It was a huge hit last year. I was over there last year, as several of our other station folks were there last year for the Green Chili Cook-Off. And, I know a little bit about the wrestling business. I was in it, for something like 25 years, 30 years. I was actually in it. I don't do shows much anymore, but I did see a lot of people that I knew, and they're like, I was ready to head home after having all that chili and stuff, and they were like, Dave, you got to come over and hang out for a while. And the wrestling crowds are always big in West Virginia anyway. But I guess I just wasn't prepared that there'd be that many people on a Saturday afternoon at, what was it, like 2 o'clock or whatever, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, whatever, that would come out for that event, and they really, really got into it.
The amount of attendees. And I did want to reiterate, this is free, open to the public.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really, the only cost associated is if you want to buy either craft beer or a tasting cup for the event. And those are $10 if you buy them in advance, and then $15 a day.
And where do you get the tickets?
You can go to capitalmarket.net. You can stop by our office, or then, again, you can purchase them day of. So but
the wrestling itself, if you want to bring the family out for the wrestling event itself, it's absolutely free. Absolutely. You just walk through the Capital Market, and hopefully, chances are, though, you're going to buy something there at the Capital Market. You're going to go to you're going to take home some chocolate or some wine or something from one of the delicious restaurants that are there. You're probably going to buy something, but you don't have to.
Don't have to, but I strongly encourage it.
because it pays your salary. And now, when is the cutoff for people to enter the chili cook-off?
I believe that's going to be this Thursday.
That would be next Thursday.
Yes.
A week from today. Okay, because they got to have plenty of time. And approximately, give me a ballpark. How many different chilies you had last year in the pro and the amateurs?
So last year we had right at 40, and I think we're on pace to top that this year.
Right. And we were there last year. I was there with a couple of our sister stations, 98.7 A Mouth, and also 96.1 KWS was there. Rob and I are going to be there. Steve Animal's going to be there because there's food. And I don't know. I talked to Candace Monday night. I don't know whether she actually needs us or not, but we put it out there that if you need judges for the chili cook-off, we're there. We did it last year.
Of the other duties as assigned, I can think of worse ones.
Okay, exactly right. And I love it. And I am a chili aficionado. I mean, I really, and I probably judged 100 chili contests in my career. And I will say the thing about chili is that there's so many different varieties. I mean, you and I could sit here and I could think, and even when my wife and I make chili at home, we don't always make it the same way.
I don't think I've ever made it the same way.
Because you try different things. You try to put different things in. And there's a lot of different kinds of chili. And this is serious biz. And as I said, we started off by talking about the weather. Long range forecasts are just what they are. And this is March we're talking about. I do realize that. But long range, the meteorologists say that next week and into next weekend looks pretty good. And, you want to have a little chill in the air. You don't want it to be like 95 degrees. You want to have a little chill in the air. And, of course, you got the craft beer and everything that goes along with it. It's just another thing, another feather in the cap for Charleston and the Kanawha Valley as a food destination.
Absolutely. It's been an incredible couple of years just in the context of our local culinary scene, and just to see it progress further. Like right now, we're just a couple weeks away, I think, from finding out if our second ever local chef is going to be a finalist for the James Beard, Chef Chase Collier at Abruzzi. And it's just,
it's insane.
You look back 5 years and
it's insane to me that a town the size of Charleston would have not one. I mean, and Chef Paul's amazing. He's been on the show numerous times, and Chef Paul's amazing, and so is Chase. But a city the size of Charleston would have not one but two folks nominated. Of course, Chef Paul won, and we hope that Chase Collier does as well. I mean, that's pretty amazing for the capital city.
We're fortunate, to have Paul Smith as the culinary ambassador, not only for the market. I mean, obviously he's a tremendous representative for the culinary community statewide, but the opportunity to really, now that he's brought home the hardware, to talk about what we can do to continue to elevate and lift up other young up and coming talent, and it's sky's the limit really with the group of folks we have right now.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, give us the details again on the green chili
shootout. Yeah. Saturday, March 15th, Capitol Market.
Starts at
noon to 4-ish.
Okay.
Tickets available at capitalmarket.net. $10 in advance, $15 at the door. Plenty of craft beer, lots of other food. Chili's not your thing. Hop inside. Plenty of food for all.
And you said there are at least 6 states have been represented?
Absolutely.
I mean, it's 6 states. And there is the amateurs, too. So you folks that are listening to us that are locally that may not be professional chefs but think you make some pretty dang good chili, this is open to you as well.
Even if you make terrible chili,
I'm
still have a great time.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great time, and stick around for the wrestling afterwards.
For sure.
All right. Evan Osborn, Capital Market. Follow them on social media. They do a great job on their social media page and also on the website as well. We'll see you next Saturday, 1 week from today, for the Capital Market Green Chili Shootouts. We'll be there. All our stations are going to be there. We're looking forward to it, man. Thanks a lot.
Always appreciate you having me.
All right. Biggly, Piggly, Wiggly, hotline 304-345-5858. Tony V. Taylor, text 304-935-5008. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you in part by Live Healthy West Virginia, presented by WVU Medicine. Live Healthy tackles pressing health issues, heart disease, diabetes, Alzheimer's, and RSV. It's a podcast offering insights into medical breakthroughs and preventative care, featuring WVU Medicine's expert physicians aimed at fostering healthier lifestyles. Great resource. Check out the latest episodes, WVMetronews.com, under the podcast menu, and start your journey towards better health today. We're going to take a break. Back after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Are you a physical therapy assistant and looking for an opportunity in orthopedics, wellness, and athletic care? If so, Generations Physical Therapy is offering flexible work hours and an upbeat atmosphere. With 7 convenient locations, Generations may have a job designed for you. Visit generationspt.com.
For your build or restoration, you can always count on us. Professional service and dedication, Charity's the name to trust. Saving you more, saving you time, providing quality building and design. Right on time, right on budget. Call on Jarrett Construction.
As retirement approaches, are you confident in your financial plan? At 4th Avenue Financial, they specialize in helping you to prepare for this important milestone. Whether you're concerned about income, investments, or leaving a legacy, John Burdett provides personalized strategies to ensure a secure and fulfilling retirement. Don't leave your future to chance. Trust 4th Avenue Financial to help you retire right with confidence. Your financial goals, their expert guidance. Visit them today at 4thavenuefinancial.com.
Securities offered through Jenny Cole Financial Incorporated. Member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through Jenny Cole Advisors Incorporated.
Nobody does President's Day like Thornhill. Hey, it's Sydney, inviting you to Thornhill Ford Lincoln on the Thornhill Motor Mile, where you can find the best of the best in presidential savings. We're talking Benjamins. New 24 Ford Escape or Bronco Sport, available up to $6,500 off. 24 F-150 STX, up to $8,000 off. 24 Expedition, up to $14,000 off. You want it, and Thornhill has it. Plus, Thornhill's 10-year, 150,000-mile warranty with your new purchase. Visit us online at thornhillford.net and on the road to total savings, US 119 Chapmanville. Qualify for all offers through Ford Motor Credit. See Thornhill for all details.
9:23. Ryan Nicholson, the senior producer, is in charge of things today. Greg Thomas coming up a little bit later on in the show. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, presented in part by Huston's Pizza. This month, get a large 18-inch pepperoni pizza and a pepperoni calzone, $21.99. Eat in, pick up, or get delivery. For your favorite Huston's is available at HustonsPizza.com. Biggly, Piggly, Wiggly hotline, 304-345-5858. Tony the Taylor text, 304-935-5008. Texas, don't forget Laurie's Chef, who has been nominated twice, including one time the year as Chef Paul. Thank you very much for pointing that out. As I said, Republican strategist and head of Citizens Against Lawsuit Abuse, Greg Thomas, joining us a little bit later on. I want to welcome in Justin Williams now from the West Virginia Building and Construction Trades Organization. Good morning, sir. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. And you came down a little bit early, and I'll let you sit in on that interview there with Evan Osborn. And I thought that was really, really cool that you sat there and didn't drool when we were talking about all that chili.
I'm very jealous that you get to judge so many competitions and eat all that chili. I will be there and trying the chili, but I've not had the privilege of being a judge yet, but maybe one day.
All right. Well, we'll see if we can get. I'll bump off Steve Animal for you. He's more interested in the craft beer anyway. So all right. So you folks just recently released an economic impact study. What did you learn in the study?
Sure. So I represent union construction workers across the entire state of West Virginia, and we know historically it's kind of been anecdotal. All the jobs we do, all the work we do, we have a really big impact on the economy of West Virginia, but we partnered with Marshall University's Center for Business and Economic Research on a study to get the actual numbers of the economic impact that construction workers in West Virginia do to help move our state forward. We're seeing all these announcements for big projects, and the people, the men and women that build those projects are the members that I get to represent, and we're excited to talk about that. In the years 22 and 23, there was $8 billion of economic activity driven out of the construction industry. That's direct wages, somewhere in the neighborhood of $2 billion of wages and benefits, money going into pension plans and retirement accounts, health insurance for union members. And those people are really the drivers of our communities. And this money really shows that an investment into infrastructure, into facilities, whether you're building new or remodeling or maintaining some of our historic facilities up and down the Kanawha Valley, those investments with union workers really paid dividends to the state of West Virginia.
Have these numbers, and what was the year that you referenced again?
22 and 23.
Okay, all right. So those are the latest numbers available. Are they going up? Are they? What's your take on the numbers?
Sure. So right now we're hopeful that they'll continue to go up. Over the last several years, we've seen major announcements for different types of projects all over the state of West Virginia, right? So we've got workers at Form Energy, and Toyota's always doing expanding and up and down maintenance work. We work in the power generation sector, so we're seeing a number of different power generation projects that are on the horizon. We hear it all the time: the demand for data centers, and then the power that's going to power those data centers. So whether it be natural gas powerhouses, maintaining our current coal-fired powerhouses, solar, wind, it's all of the above for us. Our members build it all, and And that's what we're excited about. So I'm hopeful that'll continue to go up with the opportunities ahead of West Virginia. I think we're kind of a blank slate for continuing to grow and prosper in West Virginia.
I don't want to turn this into a political thing because I know you folks are, a nonpartisan organization, but you have to be living under a rock if you hadn't seen the stories about tariffs and things of that nature. Is that something that concerns you folks?
Sure. I mean, obviously, if they're going to build something, a lot of material comes from different places, right? We always support Buy American first, right? We've got steel mills in West Virginia and different products that are made right here in West Virginia. We want to buy here in West Virginia. That's part of our goal is about local workers, local workforce. The more you can do locally, you know this, Dave, the better it is for all of us, right? I mean,
absolutely.
It keeps our car lots in business. It keeps our hospitals and doctors' offices full. It keeps.
Well, these are the people that also donate to your church, your Little League, your things of that nature. By and large, these are the people that do that stuff, that buy the signs for the Little League fields and things like that.
That's right. And anytime they need the lights at a Little League field fixed, who do they call? They call one of our union contractors, and they volunteer their time and their workers to go out there and fix those lights. So it really is about the community. And when you invest in local, skilled, drug-free trained workers, it just makes our whole community better, right? Good jobs help solve a lot of other issues out there.
Absolutely. You talked about working with Marshall University on this. Exactly how did you, what was the work like? And you don't have to bore us with the details of how the sausage was made, but basically how did you arrive at these?
Sure. So, the Marshall's Center for Business and Economic Research is what they do. They do economic studies. They do studies for business, for developers, for the university itself. But kind of the basis of it is, you look at the man hours, the work hours that we've done over the last couple of years. You take the collective bargaining agreements, so the wages, the benefits that are paid to those workers, and you put that together, and that gives you the direct, economic impact. So that's the $2 billion in wages, the $58 million that's invested into our training and apprenticeship facilities every year, and so that's those numbers. And then there's these model data scientists do, and they put these numbers in there, and that spits out all this other information about, kind of the indirect jobs. So that's the car lots, the grocery stores, the doctor's offices, with health benefits. We're providing, doctors and our members and their families with the opportunity to get that care that they need, be cold and flu season or whatever the case may be.
We're talking to Justin Williams again from the West Virginia Building and Construction Trades Organization. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by your hometown baseball team, the Charleston Dirty Birds. Birds having a big old party at Go-Mart Ballpark this coming Saturday, noon to 6. You can get your season tickets then. All sorts of giveaways, free mini golf, inflatables for the kids. And again, it's absolutely free of charge unless you want to visit the concession stand, which many of us do. Then you have to pay for that. But just to bring the kids out for all the inflatables, there's no charge for that. Dusty the mascot will be there as well. And tomorrow, Jill Guerin from the Dirty Birds will be on the show to talk about Saturday's activities. If you need more between now and then, you can visit their Facebook page or dirtybirdsbaseball.com. Justin, I want to ask you about the numbers that we have filling these jobs, these construction workers. I mean, we hear about West Virginia having the lowest workforce participation in America. We are the oldest population, and a lot of folks that are on the older scale, which I'm getting close. Most of them, not me, but others have done a lot of the manual labor that we talk about with these jobs, or whether it's coal industry or whatever. So their body's starting to break down a little bit. How are we doing in getting people to fill these jobs in West Virginia? Because I talk to my friends in industries like yours, and any industry, it's a struggle to try to find people. How are you guys doing it?
It is. I mean, and we're doing everything just like everyone else. We've been for the last several years really ramping up our advertising aspects of trying to recruit people into the trades. Historically, it was kind of, my generation, you're told, go to college, go to college, go to college.
Talk about it
right?
almost every day.
Yeah. And so, we're working we want to partner with our colleges, our community technical colleges, because as you know, it takes everybody. We can't build a hospital if we don't train doctors and nurses. So we have to have the doctors and nurses to fill that facility. We've got to have workers that go to work in the factories to build the manufacturing facility. So we have to work together, right? For so long, people were competing against one another. Oh, don't go there, don't go there. This week it was WVU Day at the legislature, and WVU and Marshall are working together now, not competing, right? And that's what we have to do with manufacturing people, with healthcare facilities, with roads and bridges. We have to be able to build it because we need all that. And we were talking, right before, housing, right? There's got to be investments from, the state, from private industry, from developers coming in here, because we are open book, and I think we can really make a difference there and getting people into these trades that are really good careers for people, good wages, benefits, a pension, and you can make a whole career out of that and provide for your family and give back to your community, your churches, your little leagues, like we talked about. And that's what our members do. And so it's a good opportunity. We have to get out of the mindset that everybody should go to college. People should do what they are good at, what they enjoy. As the old saying goes, if you enjoy what you do, you never work a day in your life. And so that's what we want. We want people that are hardworking individuals who like to work with their hands. It's not easy work. You're right. You're outside. It's cold. It's hot. It's rainy. It's muddy, but you look around and just in the Kanawha Valley, the things that our members have built, training facility for the hospital over in Kanawha City, historically the Clay Center, they're working on the TC Energy building. It's everything. It's community, it's education, it's industry and commercial development and growth. And so the more we get to go to work, the more other people get to go to work. And so it has to be a partnership.
And I like, frequently I have people like Dr. Casey Sachs of Bridge Valley on. I have Eric Cage from West Virginia State. I have Marty Roth from UC, some of these other institutions. And when they come on, without failure, they come on every time and they talk about these partnerships that they're doing with the business community and how they're working with some of these major folks, the CAMCs, the Toyotas, and some of these people to train up the kind of workers that they need. And in turn, those people have to be employed by someone. They're going to be employed by them. But a lot of them are going to be, as you said, Justin, they're going to be building those facilities. And that's what you folks do.
That's right. And that's what we need, right? We need investment into all of the above, right? Just like the all of the above energy, we need all of the above jobs. Like, we should never turn down any jobs in West Virginia. Everybody needs one and everybody needs a good one. And so, that's what we want to do. That's why we did this study, to talk about how the construction industry really is a major part of the economy in West Virginia, and the careers that our members have are really helping to move West Virginia forward and keep driving that opportunities for their families, their kids, and grandkids in the future. So they're putting themselves on a path of prosperity with jobs that have good wages, benefits, where they can take care of their families.
And if you had one takeaway from this study, wrap it up at about 30 seconds. Tell me, what would that takeaway be from this economic study that you got?
Sure. It's just that there's a lot of opportunity in the construction industry going forward for people to get into this industry, for these jobs to be there, and for our developers and for people looking at West Virginia. We have a skilled, trained, drug-free workforce ready to build your industry. So work with us, partner with us. We're here to help you. We're here to be a partner in these construction projects, with our partner, our signatory contractors who help train up our workers with journey workers and apprentices on the job, educating that next generation of workers. So it really is a partnership, and that's what we're looking for.
If people want to read the findings of the study for themselves, is there a place that this is available
Sure,
online?
It's going to be up on our website at westvirginiatrades.org.
All right. WestVirginiaTrades.org. Justin Williams from the West Virginia Building and Construction Trades Organization. Always a pleasure to have you on the show, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thanks,
and I'll
Dave.
see if I can talk to Evan about getting you in as a judge for the chili cook-off here in a week from Saturday.
We're neighbors. I'm right next door. Our buildings are right beside him.
There you go. You can just walk right next door when you're done. Justin, I appreciate you being here, man. Thanks a lot. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you in part by Pinnacle Consultants. Their lead paint inspection and risk assessment services are designed to identify and to assess the presence of lead-based paint in buildings and other structures using a 3-phase approach of inspection, sampling, and lab analysis, and an assessment report. Visit pinnaclecorp.net, because what you don't know can hurt you. Biggly Piggly Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Tony the Taylor text 304-935-5008. We'll take a break. Greg Thomas coming up next, back after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses bring first-class businesses to your community.
Banking is not just about numbers. It's about people. Are you connected? Without a community bank, your financial journey might feel lonely. And who will you turn to when life gets complicated? From checking accounts to loans, Poca Valley Bank has you covered. We are here to support you with personalized service and genuine care across our 8 locations. Poca Valley Bank, your community bank where relationships matter. Visit PocaValleyBank.com for more information. Equal housing lender. Member FDIC.
At Garib Dental Group, we love to see your smile. Take proactive steps towards optimal oral health with our comprehensive preventive care services. Our team of experienced doctors at 6 convenient locations is passionate about keeping your smile healthy and bright. From regular checkups and cleanings to advanced treatment, we are here to prevent dental issues before they start. Visit GaribDentalGroup.com to learn more and experience personalized care tailored to your needs. Garib Dental Group, where your smile receives the care it deserves.
Catch the excitement of the West Virginia State High School basketball tournaments on Metro News Television. You can watch all 4 girls' championship games on March 15th and the 4 boys' title games on March 22nd by downloading the free Metro News Television app today to experience all the championship games from Charleston. Metro News Television is powered by Dan Cabot GMC Gomart, Blue Wendell Marine, Stike Wealth Enhancement, and Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
Don't settle for a boring meal. Come to Blanche's Family Diner in Clendenin this week's 50-50 Friday. Their pancakes are fluffier than a cloud, burgers are juicier than a watermelon, and their staff is friendlier than your grandma. Don't miss Blanche's special date night dinner on September 7th from 6 to 10 p.m. See their Facebook for more information. Friday at 9 a.m. Go to WCHSnetwork.com and click the 50-50 Friday button to get 50% off gift certificates for Blanche's Family Diner, courtesy of the WCHS family of networks.
22 minutes away from 10, the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you part by Morgan & Morgan. More than $20 billion recovered. They believe that when you're injured, you deserve more. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Coming up on tomorrow's show, Amanda Barron from WOWK-TV 13 hanging out with me tomorrow. Angie Gillenwater from the Kanawha Charleston Humane Association is here. Plus, I mentioned earlier, Jill Guerin from the Dirty Birds will be here tomorrow. And a big bridal show. Oh, boy, you know, I'm all about that. A big bridal show happening Saturday here in Charleston. We'll get into that. Plus, your calls and texts are welcome, too. That is coming up on tomorrow's show. I also want to throw this in there. I had Joe Stevens from the city of Nitro on last week's show talking about a big event, big movie screening tonight at the Regal Nitro Theater. It's the screening of the film Brothers After the War, and it's a documentary. It starts at 6 o'clock tonight at the Regal, and admission is free for all veterans, active service members, and their families. Joe was on the show one day last week talking about it, so if you get an opportunity, if you're a veteran, have somebody that served in your family, whatever, it's free to you, 6 o'clock tonight at the Regal in Nitro. Vaccines are your best protection against severe disease from flu and COVID-19. If you're 65 or older, risk less, do more. With the season's vaccines, get started, vaccines.gov, paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Greg Thomas is here. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. Good morning. How are you?
You're in the belly of the beast today. You're leaving here and you're heading over to the Capitol, right? Well, you're there pretty much every day, I guess, during the session.
Not
right?
every day.
You can only handle so much?
Yeah, I mean, I can't watch it, that's for sure.
All right, I want to go ahead and get this out here to you, all right? And by the way, I'll say anytime during this interview, Greg, if you're upset with me on anything, you may stand in defiance and shake your cane at me if you want. I will not have you removed.
Well, I brought my little thing to be able to say liar or whatever.
little paddle?
Yeah, my little paddle. I got your little paddle.
All right, you sent me a text, Greg, last night, and you said, and I'm going to quote your text here, the National Democrats are doubling down on being left-wing crazy, end quote. As was evidence, this is my part, during the president's speech to the joint session on Tuesday night. That's me saying that part. So you say they're doubling down on this is National Democrats being left-wing crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I think that what you're seeing going on in America and here, and especially here in West Virginia, is a reaction to this lurch to the left that's been going on. I mean, let's be honest, for 20 years. But I mean, it got really to a fever pitch during, Obama's really what brought it front and center. And then the Biden people, kind of just really were shoving it down your throats, right? I mean, it was the climate change hoax, which was a, way to create this big Green New Deal where they all made a bunch of money. The transgender nonsense, and it is nonsense. I mean, it's just absolutely crazy. The boys and girls sports, which to me, the fact that they're out there still, I mean, like that's supported by like 5% of the world, right? I mean, it's crazy that they're still doing that. The federal government overspending, and that's really both parties. But I mean, the Democrats really stepped on the gas with that, growing the size of the federal government during the Obama administration, and during Biden, it just went out of control, right? And that's what's caused this. The need for this DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency. And, you just heard Trump the other night during his speech, rattle off some of the most outrageous spending things you couldn't even, most people wouldn't even imagine that could possibly be true. All these things that they're spending millions and billions of dollars on. And so I think, that extremism from the left, which I share the right's reaction to being frustrated with it, right? I mean, they're trying to blow up the traditional family. They're, attacking business. They're attacking capitalism. Trying to replace religion with all these other sort of things. So I share the frustration, but what that has caused is sort of the far right, to come out and instead of all right, what's our plan? What are we going to do? Every single thing they talk about is just a reaction to, well, what do we do to stop that? And so I'm for the stopping that part, right? I think it's just that is, that whole – it's at this point it's like a visceral, emotional reaction to doing something about it.
But would you agree, Greg? Let me jump in here. Would you agree that the right's taken it way too far? Many of the right, not all the right.
Yes.
I mean,
yeah.
and this,
I would.
And what I saw the other night in this speech, although this is probably the most out of control one I've ever seen, I hearken back to a few years ago when Marjorie Taylor Greene, acting like a hyena in there. So she's about as far right as they go. So this is not – I understand what you're saying, but I don't think that we can say that the lunacy is only on the left. There's a lot of loons on the right too, Greg.
Look, I think what you're seeing is sort of the right fringe yelling – it's like the rest of America is caught in the middle of the right fringe yelling at the left fringe, right? And the left fringe yells at the right
on the
fringe.
Show.
Where I really do believe them. If you would look at, I've got a couple different clients that have been doing some polling, and so I've been neck deep in that for a little bit looking at it. But if you would on a scale of 1 to 10 say, okay, well, how conservative are you, or how liberal are you? With 10 being conservative and 1 being liberal, West Virginia, I think America's at like a 6, right? Maybe 6.5. I think West Virginia is at 7.5. For whatever reason, a lot of our legislative leaders here in Charleston, they think we're at like a 12, and we're not at a 12, right? I mean, I think
you're talking about Republicans.
I'm talking about
because you can't be talking about Democrats. So you're talking about Republicans right now.
I'm talking about people that are registered Republican. I think, and this is you hear a lot of those really far right Republicans will say, "Oh, this guy's a rhino because he doesn't support." I think the person that says you're a rhino is usually somebody that was a Democrat like 6 years ago. I mean, honestly, that is who they are, right? Mm-hmm. I think I would guess that a quarter of the Republican Party in West Virginia right now, or at least a quarter of the legislators up there, are former Democrats that were always social conservative, that weren't with us on economic issues. These are people that take money from personal injury lawyers. These are people that support labor unions. These are people that essentially were Democrats that didn't support that extreme liberal social agenda, but they agreed with them on all of the other policies that had been in place in West Virginia for 84 years, which drove us into the ground and made us last and everything, and made us, I know you were talking with the last guest is, brought up, we're last in workforce participation because we had these leftist sort of economic policies for decades. And I think that's why, you're not seeing that at the forefront of this current legislature. Right now you've got, they're leading with the social issues as a reaction to the national stuff. You talk to people at the Capitol and say,
but two wrongs make a right, though.
I think some of it is writing. I'm with them on like half of that stuff, right? I mean, I think half of that stuff is like, hey, we should do that. That's probably something we should do. We got to get the boys out of girls sports, and I'm for a lot of those things. But then they take it and like keep going, right? It's like you could, let's use abortion as the issue, right? Most West Virginians support the exceptions for abortion, for rape, incest, life of the mother. That's where most West Virginians are.
Exactly.
I'll bet you a quarter to a third of this legislature wants to make it no exceptions at all.
And why won't the Republicans put it on the ballot?
Which is a fringe position, right? I mean, it's I've seen it's fringe. I just saw a poll the other day. 10% of West Virginians don't think you should be able to get an abortion whenever you want. Mm-hmm. And 10% don't think you should be able to get an abortion at all, even life of the mother, right? That's the fringe position.
So the minority is being made up by the two fringe positions.
Correct.
Yeah, exactly.
And so that's sort of what happens. And I think that's what drives that overreach, where right now, especially here in Charleston, now you do have some of these people that I refer to them as center right? I mean, these are your 7.5 out of 10 conservatives that are for the conservative social issues, but also support conservative economic issues. And what you hear from them is, hey, we just got to get this social conservative stuff out of the way, and then we're going to get to the pro-jobs bills. I know there's some out there. I mean, you had mentioned I do work with Citizens Against Lawsuit Abuse. We have a couple. Medical monitoring's one, and we have some other ones that would really help improve the job climate here. And there's other organizations that have some out there too. Morrissey's got a permitting bill on the House side that would be helpful for jobs. He's got a licensing bill on the Senate side that would be helpful. But I'm with you though, Dave, and the people look at this and say, okay, hey, I'm with you on some of this stuff, but what are you doing about jobs? What are you doing about roads? What are you doing about schools?
And this is where I am, Greg, because it's not that I don't think that those other things are important. I've said it on the show a couple days ago. But I don't think that the average person, when they get up every morning, thinks about, I mean, the ones on the fringe, I don't think that they think about, well, I'm going to be pissed off today about boys playing girls sports. No, they're trying to buy bread. They're trying to go to their jobs. I just wish our legislators would focus on the stuff that is of value to everyday West Virginians, not this fringe crap.
If they don't focus on it, there's a remedy for that. Elections, right? And so I think what happened, I think that people elected some very conservative legislators that were just pro-Trump, right? I'm pro-Trump. I support Trump's agenda. I want to do it. And they're up here in Charleston saying, I'm pro-Trump, I'm going to support Trump's agenda. And a lot of the bills that they're doing sort of try to mirror things that Trump is doing. Of course. And some of it you can do, some of it, I think a lot of these new and we've talked about this before, I think a lot of these new legislators ran because they supported Trump, they wanted new direction for the country, and then all of a sudden they end up in Charleston and it's like, oh gosh, I'm not in the U.S. Senate. I don't get to vote on that stuff.
I'm serving out of Wetzel County. Yeah. I can't build a wall.
And so, but it takes a little. But look, that's just part of this process. I'm not against those guys. I'm for a lot of those guys. I'm not against them. It's going to be a process. So will they be able to figure out though here in the next 30 days, which is about all they have left in the session? Will they be able to figure out in the next 30 days? Oh, my constituents do want the social conservative stuff to a degree. They want, reasonable social conservative bills. Reasonable social conservative bills. But am I going to be able to go back in May, in June, and go to the 4th of July parade and see people in my community and tell them, here's what I did to create jobs. Here's what I did to improve the roads. Here's what I did to improve the schools. And my suggestion is probably one of the longest serving political consultants here in West Virginia, to them is you better do something. You better have something to say. And you got 30 days, right? So they need to get on the stick. They need to get after it. This session isn't lost. You're always going to have a couple weeks of trying to figure it out. They've picked up the pace a little bit, which could be good if they would focus on some other stuff. But they have an opportunity to focus on jobs, roads, and schools, and I really encourage them to do so.
The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by Snap Fitness. Snap has a wide selection of equipment, including free weights, cardio machine, weights, and more. 5 convenient locations: Charleston, Hurricane, Winfield, Barbersville, and Milton. Visit snapfitness.com for details. As you may imagine, Mr. Thomas has elicited some text, so we're going to get to those when we come back right after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses want to thank you for shopping locally.
I'm John Carruthers, the owner of Best Virginia Heating and Cooling. I'm born and raised right here in West Virginia. I've got 3 daughters, so I absolutely care who comes into my home. Every technician we send to your home has been drug tested and background checked. I guarantee the best client experience or your money back. We have the best team and the best processes built around a 5-star experience. Call Best Virginia today at 681-655-1214.
According to Feeding America, over 7 million seniors nationwide were food insecure in 2022. West Virginia is no different. Hi, I'm Jason, President and CEO of Union Mission Ministries. For 113 years, Union Mission has focused on helping people in need. Right now, our senior citizens need our help. That is why Union Mission is partnering with local senior living facilities to get food delivered directly to those in need. Will you help us reach more seniors? Visit unionmission.com to learn more.
This is Jim Strong from Monticola Security. Risk mitigation, asset protection, employee safety, compliance, emergency response, peace of mind, and more. Monticola Security. Whatever, wherever, whoever needs protection. That is their passion. Serving the tri-state area. Being safe and secure is not a product, it's a process, a sense of peace. Contact Monticola at monticolasecurity.com or give them a call, 304-595-1500.
In April 1975, the Vietnam War came to an end. However, 50 years later, there are 17 West Virginia veterans still missing in action in Vietnam, Cambodia, and Laos. Through interviews with their families, friends, and unit members, the upcoming documentary series Bring Them Home, produced by Lost Valley Studios, will tell their stories, since they haven't been able to come home to tell it themselves. Follow Bring Them Home on Facebook and YouTube to see the first 2 episodes premiering this spring.
Biggly Piggly Wiggly Hotline 304-345-5858. Tony the Taylor text 304-935-5008. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by Bridge Valley. Their Win Academy can provide free college credit in nursing and advanced manufacturing to students while they're still in high school. Visit bridgevalley.edu/Win Academy for more information. Let me knock out a bunch of text here, Greg. Are you ready? Rapid fire. Let's do it. Saving baby, says a texter, is not fringe. In my opinion, it's normal, says a texter.
The reality is we had, with the current look, I'm pro-life. I'm pro-life. Pro-life with, as most West Virginians, with rape, incest, life of the mother as exceptions. In West Virginia last year, we had no abortions. Like, why are we still pushing bills to address an issue that in West Virginia we didn't have last year?
And why won't the Republicans put it on the ballot? Because they know they'll lose.
Yeah, I mean, look, and that's what. See, but here, this is my point though with this texter, right? It's like, here I am with a position that the Republican Party's held for decades, that we wanted to have. We would have done anything in the world to have for 50 years, and we have it, and it's not enough for certain people because that's their focus, right? That's their focus.
All right, Tex says there is no pro-business legislation going on. They want to beat Trump, beat Trump so badly. This person is right. This texter is right. I hope you and I are proven wrong, and that I know there are pro-jobs sponsored because I've worked with legislators to sponsor them. I know there's some out there. I hope that they will start to pick them up and run them soon. But you're right. Tex says, does Mr. Thomas believe honestly that Social Security is really paying out millions to people over 120 years of age? If he does, no. Okay, go ahead and finish.
I don't think these people understand that there's a lot of fraud in Social Security and Medicaid, Medicare, and all that stuff, right? I mean, I think what they don't understand is, like, somebody has filled out a paper somewhere and said that. It's not like we actually there's somebody out there acting like they're 125. There is fraud to a huge degree, and they're going to get to the bottom of it. And for those of us, not that I receive Social Security, but for those people that are receiving Social Security or one day hope to receive Social Security, this is a good thing, right? Why don't we want to cut out fraud within Social Security?
Well, I think the point is that there's been a lot of inaccuracies reported that's come out. Fact checkers of all kinds have said, there's not as much of this as people think there is, and there's some extremes. Let me knock through these. Greg is just running down the list of culture war, conservative propaganda talking points. Nothing new. Same old story of the left destroying America while the right comes to save it. Culture war BS as the wealth gap widens and the majority of Americans' lives get worse
while a handful of folks consolidate wealth and power.
What did the left do? The left had total control of our federal government for 4 years, and they did nothing but have out-of-control inflation, raise taxes, grew the size of government, and people's lives got worse. And that's a reality. That's a reality for far too many West Virginian American families.
All right, so text says, we get it. The GOP won. Strange they, A, still aren't happy, and B, aren't leading. They're still complaining and making things worse. You all complain about Dems to the far left, but you all won. Get to work. There's a lot of things that need to get done. Addressing the social issues aren't helping folks sitting around their kitchen table. Sounds familiar. And costs are still going up, not down, and that ain't Biden's fault anymore.
I guess that person wrote this text in the first half of our discussion, not the second half, because I actually agree with you on some of that we need a plan. Look, I think Trump has a plan. He's doing a ton of stuff. I think here in West Virginia, what they've done so far has just been a reaction to getting back at Democrats. This legislature, the leaders in this legislature need to come up with a plan to increase jobs, to fix the roads, and to get better results out of our schools.
Text says, Dave, we support Israel, and Israel supports abortion. Text says, can Greg help his party with the definition of transgenic as compared to transgender, and why they want to shut down legit scientific studies because they don't know the words, says the texter. Text says, best political ad last fall was Larry Pack running for state treasurer of West Virginia saying, I'm going to help build the border wall. Well, I love Larry to death, but that's one of the things I was talking about. Text says, thanks for trying to keep Greg Thomas balanced today. Ain't nobody puts Greg in a corner. Text says, Dave, talking about things that the public cares about in regards to roads, there hasn't been a bridge painted in 10 years. Dave, the left has far more loonies than the right. You must look at what each party's doing to put the country first. When you look at this, Republicans are far ahead of the Democrats in strengthening this country. It's common sense. Text says the Republicans have had a supermajority for past 10 years, and things are getting worse, says a texter.
I don't agree with that, and I think that the Republicans have had to control for 10 years. I think that in the last 10 years they've made West Virginia a normal state. We were way out of whack on far too many issues, but I agree with one of the other texters in between there that we need a plan to move forward, and we need it now.
All right. I didn't get to all the text. I apologize. We want to go to the Capitol right now. Let's bring in Meadows and Wilson. They are connected, I understand. TJ and Dave, are you there? All right, guys, are you there?
Yes, yeah. Good morning.
All right, good morning. Greg Thomas has got him fired up. Now I'm going to wind him up and send him down Virginia Street to you.
What did you get wound up? What's he all wound up about?
Oh, no, he's not. He's just speaking the truth according to Greg Thomas and me, because I agree with him on a lot of it. What are you guys going to talk about today?
Speaking of getting wound up, Eric Tarr is going to join us at 10:06. We'll talk everything from guardian caps to independent voters not participating in party primaries and everything in between.
All right. Guys, we'll be listening at 10:06. And again, Greg's going to be on with you guys, too. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot, man.
Oh, thanks for making time for us. Appreciate it.
What? When Greg Thomas is on the show, I do what I can. I want to get a couple more texts here. What, Greg, quickly, what do you think about the House being the voice of reason this session? The Senate has always been this. 10 seconds.
That is very true this year.
All right. We got to go. Amanda Barron will be hosting the show along with me coming up tomorrow. 10:06 Metro News Talk Line. I will see you tomorrow. Till then, have fun and love somebody.
WCHS W243DRFM Charleston and W283AQ Crosslake. BRC Media Station. We are proud to live here